Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about giving thanks and rejoicing. So I'm going to read from Philippians chapter 4, starting in verse 4. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Verse 8, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Practice these things. I had the privilege of being at a wedding not too long ago. It was a young couple that I had counseled, and through various adversities, they found their way to this hopeful, this joyful moment. And this might seem trivial, but I was struck with the music they chose for the prelude and the processional. The prelude was an instrumental version of Million Dreams from the movie Greatest Showman. Oh, it's such a wonderful song. It was just joyful. It opened me up to memories of happy occasions. I was rejoicing from the heart, thinking about those memories, thinking about this moment. I was really ready for the wedding at that moment. And then during the processional, they played a song by an artist named Ben Rector called Brand New Day. And the song is about falling in love and feeling like he's young again, how joyful he is. And I was ready to jump out of my seat and start hooping and hollering for the couple. Now, maybe those songs don't or won't resonate with you, but you have songs that are like that for you, that just want to make you just jump up and shout for joy. Well, I was driving home from that wedding, and I found those songs on YouTube Music, and I just wanted to keep the mood going all day, and so I kept listening to those songs and songs like them. And it occurred to me while I was driving home that I don't live in this feeling very much. Now, some of us have personalities that are given to joy, given to positivity, but that's not most of us. We can get stuck in a malaise. So the question for us, as we think about this passage from Philippians, can we get into the discipline of joy, of celebrating? It's a challenge, actually, from another book in the Bible, Esther, not a book we studied too much, but it is about rejoicing, and can we learn to celebrate God's deliverance, both big and small? How can we work that into our lives? Well, the first way we can learn to practice being joyful is by letting ourselves be in the moment, being present when something wonderful happens. Too often we're stuck in the past, stewing on something that upset us, or we're worried about the future and living in that anxiety. Can we be in the present when something wonderful happens? Now, when the Jewish people were in exile in Persia and threatened with being wiped out in a persecution, they lived under dread and fear of that possible future. But the Lord had, in his providence, placed Esther next to the king. She was queen of Persia and was able to plead on behalf of her people, and they were delivered. And the mourning was turned to joy. Esther 9, verse 22. As the days on which the Jews got relief from their enemies, and as the month that had been turned for them from sorrow into gladness, and from mourning into holiday. And they instituted the celebration of Purim. And it wasn't just a day. It was a celebration that lasted quite some time. This life, the life we're living now, is filled with discouragements, large ones, small ones. And I tend to be wary of getting my hopes up. Yeah, today went well, but tomorrow I don't know about that. So let's just keep the mood even. But let me share something with you that I am still learning. Celebrate every win in the moment that it happens. The birth of a friend's baby, a good grade on a test, a medical result that came back and it was positive, meaning it was a good result. A birthday, a child coming home for the holidays, finding the parking place that you're looking for. And if you're in Christ, always remember that no matter what happens in this life, the pain you experience now will know redemption in the resurrection. When we think about the very first Thanksgiving, God and His Spirit was inspiring that. There's lots of questions about when the first Thanksgiving really was, but let me read from the writings of the first governor of the Plymouth colony, William Bradford, as he's describing a drought from May to July in 1623 and day of prayer. And God was pleased to give them a gracious and speedy answer, both to their own and the Indians' admiration that lived among them. For all the morning and the greatest part of the day, it was clear weather and very hot, and not a cloud or any sign of rain to be seen. Yet toward evening it began to overcast, and shortly after to rain, with such sweet and gentle showers, and gave them cause of rejoicing. And afterwards the Lord sent them such seasonable showers, with interchangeable of fair, warmer weather, as through His blessing caused a fruitful and liberal harvest, to their no small comfort and rejoicing. For which mercy in time convenient they also set apart a day of thanksgiving. This is God turning sorrow into gladness. So what did they do? They celebrated. You should celebrate with a trip to your favorite restaurant, or maybe just Mickey D's. When my kids were small, if we got to Mickey D's, that was considered quite a banquet. Maybe the celebration is modest. Maybe it's extravagant. Maybe it's just a hoop and a holler over what's just happened, but celebrate the moment. Now, I know it's true that not every moment is an occasion for exuberance, but even in the hard times, we know the Lord will turn it to good. In Christ, every moment of failure has forgiveness. In Christ, a moment of weakness has promise of strength from the Spirit. In Christ, a moment of loss of a loved one is informed by the resurrection. Yeah, we need to treat hard moments appropriately and not just stuff them and put on a mask of a smiley face. But when we get the wins, even in the midst of grief, celebrate it and make it a discipline. This Thanksgiving, learn not just to celebrate on the day that's appointed for that, but on every occasion where there's a win. Thank the Lord. Blessings on you all.